What's going on, everybody? LK here, and today's a double whammy, huh? So we got the both launch trailer, reveal trailer for Asuka, the last character of Guilty Gear Strive Season 2, and we got the two example matches, and those matches were pretty crazy. Like, my reaction to what was going on, I was kind of just like, bruh, there's a lot of stuff going on, there's a lot of meters, a little bit like nostalgic for me, as someone, I played a lot of Blaze Blue. Many characters have unique character specific gauges. Sometimes some characters have more than one, so it's a little nostalgic for me. This is the one I've been really waiting for, is the starter guide. So they've done this with every character in Strive. This is one, they are essentially only showing you and explaining special moves, but this gives you just a really good look into the characters. So let's take a look. I usually don't watch these first, but he looked so odd that I actually watched this once by myself, and let's watch it again together. Just gonna let the video play and add my own comments.
Mana. Mana depletes when using spells, performing Bookmark or Change Test Case, and some other actions. It also depletes when Asuka loses health. Asuka gains increased defense while he has mana. Mana can be recovered with certain spells or the recover mana move.
Alright, so first we're going to be talking about mana. So basically what we saw in the matches were pretty much correct. So his HP being affected by him having mana, moves taking up the mana gauge, like the spells taking up the mana gauge, and his ability to recover them were all pretty clear from watching the matches. So there's not much extra here that we didn't know yet.
Chant expends mana to activate the spell Bookmark under Punch, Kick, Slash, or Heavy Slash. The amount of mana required varies depending on the spell used. The spell will not activate if you do not have enough mana. The spell will be discarded from your bookmarks after activation. Chant can be cancelled into certain special moves, except for after activating certain spells. Back and Punch, Kick, Slash, or Heavy Slash cancels into Bookmark. Down and Punch, Kick, or Slash cancels into Recover Mana. Down and Heavy Slash cancels into Change Test Case. Forward and Punch, Kick, Slash, or Heavy Slash cancels into Chant. Each spell has different properties, all of them powerful.
Alright, so Chant is the next one. So this is another kind of mechanic-wide move for him, and we got some pretty interesting info about this. So one is about just the buttons being associated with bookmarks in the bottom left corner, above your meter. That one's really important. The varied mana costing, pretty obvious, makes sense. But what's pretty interesting to me is how you can't get rid of your mana, like kill your mana on purpose if you don't have enough. Like, if you have a spell but you don't have the mana, you can't use it. It sounds obvious, but it does a lot of stuff. So one, it's a little quality of life thing for the person playing Asuka, so you can't just like accidentally spend too much. Two, it's also nice for the opponent because the opponent can see what is available and what's not. It's very clearly grayed out. And finally, the guessing game that Nago has of am I going to kill myself on purpose by spending too much resource is also not there, which is kind of nice. There's also the thing about being able to cancel the different special moves. This is important, so I think like his frame data is going to be kind of variable because of this, but we'd have to see what it looks like in game. But also, it just makes it so that his option set is a little bit more flexible, too.
Spell. All of them powerful. Spell. A large variety of spells are available through Chant. Some examples include firing fast-moving projectiles or multi-hit projectiles, firing long-ranged, low-hitting projectiles or overhead projectiles that home in on the opponent's position. Placing a staff that speeds up certain other spells or draws in spells for a set length of time. temporarily reducing the depletion rate of mana, or restoring mana. Bookmarking spells in every slot, or temporarily making it so that a spell is bookmarked automatically after one is used. Changing into a powerful spell at random, or making it so that the next spell used is not discarded afterwards. And many more. See the spell page in the command list for a list of spells and their effects.
Alright, so let's talk about spells. So this is also another kind of straightforward one. There are so many that they don't actually tell you what all of them do, but if you go into training mode, they have a special page for him just for his spell list. But the examples they gave are pretty strong. So, you know, he's got like his high-low mix-up ones, and they look different. They look quite different, unlike Arbiter Sign. So Arbiter Sign, obviously one comes from the bottom, the other comes from the top, but you know, it's the same thing attacking you, right? The staffs have some pretty unique effects of like altering where things go and like reducing costs. He has like it's a very thorough set of things that seem to affect every part of his game plan, which I find interesting. So of course, if there's so many, they're not going to go into all of them in a video, but it's, again, for me, it looks interesting. Honestly, I think he has a interesting type of playstyle. I've played a couple of characters like this before too, or has this type of thing, so I'm kind of interested in it, and it looks cool to me. The final thing I took from this is that apparently bookmarking is not automatic. So this is one of those, either you gotta watch it a couple times to make sense of it, or just wait till next week, which is my lane, pretty much.
Bookmark changes the bookmark slot corresponding to punch, kick, slash, or heavy slash. Bookmarks a new spell if one is not currently bookmarked in the selected slot. Discards the current spell if one is already bookmarked. The spell bookmarked will be selected from the current test case.
So next up we have Bookmark, and their explanation of this actually makes him make a lot more sense. So the number is associated with test case. This is a move they're going to explain later, but basically he has 3 sets of spells. So he's pulling from one set of the spell. Just like before, the buttons are associated with like what is bookmarked. If there's nothing there, you'll bookmark one, and if there's something there, you'll get rid of it. It didn't sound like you replace it, it just sounds like you just get rid of it. Basically them explaining this move explains his gauges, so I'm really glad they did it in a pretty concise way. The last thing is like a lot of his moves that aren't like spells straight up, the animation is really fast. So I'm really looking forward to just seeing numbers on a lot of his stuff.
Recover mana. Recovers mana during the animation. Holding punch, kick, or slash extends the length of the animation, thus recovering additional mana. The kick version depletes the tension gauge, and the slash version depletes the health gauge in order to speed up the mana recovery rate.
Okay, so next is Recover Mana. So that's for the mana gauge we talked about before. So this one's a pretty interesting one because I'm thinking about him in matches. Because from the matches we saw, I was like, oh, he gains so much meter, he gains so much meter, he gains so much meter. So this move lets you either recover the mana slowly, spend meter, or spend HP. To be honest, I did not pay such close attention that I saw that they used the one that uses tension, but I did see them use HP to do it a good amount of times. Both seem to speed it up, but he gains meter really fast, so it's actually kind of nice that you can pick which one for the situation that's available.
Change test case. Inputting punch, kick, or slash during the animation will switch to the corresponding test case. Each test case has different spells available to bookmark, so switch them out to suit your current situation and opponent. Test Case 1, which is equipped at round start, or by pressing punch during this move, includes standard spells that work well as pokes. Test Case 2, which can be equipped by pressing kick during this move, specializes in close range combat, granting access to powerful mix-up. Test Case 3, which can be equipped by pressing slash during this move, includes many spells with unique effects. The spell that allows Asuka to teleport in any direction is especially potent.
So next we have one that really puts him together. So this changed test case. So now we're combining basically like all his mechanics. So the spells are drawn from different test cases, basically, right? The different set, and he has 3, and you can swap in between them. One is the one that he starts from the beginning of the round, projectiles. One is for like offense, and one is for weird stuff. So speaking from, I played 9 in BlazBlue. She's probably like my last serious main in BlazBlue. I actually think it's a pretty elegant way of kind of combining 9 and like Platinum, because Platinum had she's an item character, but you can see the items that are coming, but they're random. But it's only like 6 or 7, and then 9 has like 30 spells or something total. But because of the type of character she is, people tend to lean towards specific strong ones that were easily accessible. So by putting them kind of, for lack of a better word, in 3 decks, like your neutral deck, your mix-up deck, and your haha funny what's gonna happen, we don't know what the effects are deck, besides like teleporting and stuff like that, he gets quite a bit of flexibility, and it also narrows down what could happen based on the situation. So for example, if he's in test case 2, which is like mix up heavy, so if he's full screen doing mix up stuff, it might not be so effective. Of course, we don't know what specifically every single spell does, but it might not be like so crazy for him to be in that, so he has to switch. Or alternatively, if he has the projectiles point blank, you're like, well, okay. It of course again depends on the frame advantage on stuff, and he has a lot of fast animating cancel stuff, so this is all hypothetical, but it just makes it so you can just understand what's going on, and you're not like totally overwhelmed by options, both the person playing against him and the person playing as him, because no matter what, everything fits into one of those 3, for lack of a better word, cases. Once again, I think Arxis, like if you really want to give credit to Arxis for stuff in this game, it's just how they are able to like make deep characters through like simple streamlined designs. I feel that way about Baiken. I know like people are like, Baiken is like a super simple character, but again, the more I play her, the more I'm like, they made an insanely deep character somehow with like 4 special moves. So even though there's a lot of stuff we went through, because after this is going to be like talks about his 2 supers, so we went through a bunch of stuff like mana, spells, bookmarks, like all these things that like all come together, but they have to explain to you how these mechanics kind of work together before they show you like this thing. Because this, I actually kind of wish they showed the spells first and explain everything else after. Like, of course he looks like a deep character, but this gives him a very clear framework of like, or in offensive situations, you're generally in test case 2. In neutral situations, you're generally in test case 1, and then if you like spending a little time in training mode and having fun and messing around, we got something just for you, which would be like test case 3 stuff.
High compression submicron particle sphere releases a powerful projectile forward. The punch version is affected by other spells. Try using it in combination with the staff that increases spell speed, or the one that draws in spells, depending on your situation.
Boy, oh boy, this super. So a couple of things. So one, there's 2 versions of this. So there's the punch and kick. They only talk about the punch one. So first off, my theory is that the K version is invincible, right? Because they didn't talk about it. 2, the name, high compression submicron particle sphere. That will just tell you what type of person is going to play this character. Definitely try hard, definitely sweat. I mean, I'm kidding a little bit. I just thought the name was funny. But I'm very interested to see how the punch version interacts with all the spells. Basically, they show a couple of examples as usual, and I don't know how crazy it's going to be, but I mean, in general, supers are really strong in this game. And that means there's just, again, a lot of room for experimentation with stuff. Now, if Arc System Works were real gangsters, they wouldn't even tell us what the special effects of the punch version were by spells that are active in like the training mode. You know, there's a spells list. They would just be like, hey, just literally mess around. I'm not gonna tell you shit. Just fuck around and find out.
Bookmark, full order. This move allows you to change the spells in any slots you desire. Inputting punch, kick, slash, or heavy slash while the effect is active will change the spell in each corresponding slot. The effect ends after a set length of time, or after pressing dust. If any slots do not have spells set when Bookmark full order is used, spells will be bookmarked in them upon activation. Spells bookmarked by this move will be selected from the current test case.
Alright, so last is Bookmark Full Order. So I've seen people call him like a trading card game character, and I feel like this is from hearsay, but I remember hearing that all the DLC characters from Exerd are based, like the concept is from other video game genres. So if we're gonna say that about Asuka, and he's a trading card game character, then this is the search function, and it's very, very strong. So what it seems to be is that when you do the super, you get to pick from the current test case. At least you can't pick from literally everything, and he recovers instantly, ... question mark. So the same question I had about the Bedman install with the error power up, I have the same question about Asuka, because again, like, generally the installs, like powering up resource supers in this game, are really, really, really good and have a lot of like really good effects. And for a character that seems to rely on having the right thing for the right situation, having to make quick judgments like that, having something that maybe the startup is not instant, but being able to act immediately after seems quite strong in my opinion. Again, no one has actually played him, so we don't know how it's kind of working out. So only time will tell. This looks like both win more and come back, depending on what's going on. And yeah, so that's Asuka's starter guide. Wow. There was a lot going on, but also, like I said, like I really do think ArcSys does a good job in this game of like making characters like based off a simple design that also are like really deep and have a lot of stuff to dig with. He's an example of a character just obviously has a lot of stuff. I do think they kind of gave us simple characters. Bedman was probably like the weirdest one, and then they were like, what if we just went more? Because Bridget, although she has a lot of like setups and stuff, overall she's a pretty simple character, and then Sin is a pretty standard character too. So I'm glad they added one more of these for us weirdos, for us sweats. So I'm really actually looking forward to trying him out. Probably the coolest character I've seen in season 2 by far. As usual, if you guys have any questions or comments, definitely feel free, leave them in the comment section below. If you notice anything, do that too. Just let me know, because I definitely could have gone more in depth. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.